And on Thursday, October 19th, episode 302 of the 359 podcast, I'm BBG, and today I learned Alexa responds to burps. In the house today, Ben Fox Rubin, Roger Cheng, and Alfred.
Hey guys.
Hello.
Morning.
Oh, come on.
Jeez, really?
Sorry if I
Off to
activated
a
your
terrible-
Alexa.
To be fair, I queued that up.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
did cue that up.
Well, you didn't say Alexa first.
I'll clean this later.
Thanks.
Oh, man.
That's
That
how we're
is
going to
gross.
start.
Guys,
All right.
the view counts just dropped
All
like
right,
30.
We're already off the rails. Ben, what are we talking about today?
So today we're going to be talking about Amazon HQ2. That's Amazon's plan for its next major campus. And nobody knows where it's going quite yet because they sent out an open call to try to
Sweepstakes
find
are
out.
on.
Yeah, it's called the Amazon Lottery. They want cities to send in their best offers to try to get this campus. And we'll also round out with Bixby. Did I pronounce that right?
All right.
Yeah, it's Bixby.
Bixby, which is coming to your refrigerator.
And just a reminder, that's Samsung's digital assistant because most
Right.
people may not know what that is.
Right.
We can't assume people know. It's
Does it
like
also
a
respond
Siri.
to burps?
It's
Dude, don't.
It will
no,
eventually.
No.
And please no.
Stop.
I know it's Thursday, but still. Send in your questions and comments. BVG will get to as many as he can at the end of the show. Let's get this podcast started.
Yep.
Here we go in 3, 2.
Welcome to the 359. I'm Ben Fox Rubin.
I'm Roger Cheng.
I'm Alfred.
So Amazon last month sent out an open call for cities to send in their best offers to land Amazon's second headquarters out of Seattle. The deadline for submissions is today. Some of the numbers are pretty crazy about this. They're planning on eventually spending $5 billion to build out this campus and hope to have 50,000 employees. Now, granted, that's in like a 15 to 17 year time frame, but still, this is
This would be huge for any city that gets it. And as you mentioned, there's an Amazon lottery, and they've actually taken submissions on I guess the best pitches for which cities should get it.
Yeah, and there are a couple of cities that have taken this quite a little too seriously.
Yeah, what are some of the wacky ones?
There was one city that sent in a giant cactus, which was really stupid.
How big is the giant cactus?
It was giant. I don't know off the top of my
How
head.
do they even
but
send it? Did they drop it off with a drone?
Yeah, they dropped it
Did
off
they
with
use
like a
Amazon to
trailer.
ship it over? Or?
There was a Georgia city that said it would rename part of itself Amazon.
That's thirsty, man.
That is
Yeah.
very, very thirsty. I also, New York City, which is where we're doing the podcast now, said it would change the lighting for a bunch of its buildings.
I mean,
bunch of
they
its
only did it
skyscrapers.
last night. It was
They just
more
did
like,
it last night.
they did it with the Empire State Building, all the Link NYC kiosks, and like certain places where they could just
Wait,
it
so
was
what?
supposed to be
What
like
did they
bright
change the lighting to?
orange.
Amazon to Amazon Orange.
Yeah,
I mean, look, I'm gonna say it. I don't want Amazon in New York.
Ouch.
New York doesn't need Amazon. There are other cities that need it. I mean, new jobs, infrastructure, a boost to the economy. New York City doesn't need it. We have other stuff.
wasn't Newark, New Jersey, one of the contenders?
Newark, New Jersey is definitely one of the contenders. New
All right.
Jersey pulled together a big package for like $7 billion in tax breaks, which is definitely very significant. Newark, a lot of people don't know, is also the home to Audible, which is an Amazon company.
Or an existing relationship.
Right. And Newark, if anybody didn't already know this, Newark could definitely use the help.
Yeah.
It's definitely got some blighted areas in it. And Amazon would significantly change what it actually looked like. However, there have also been some important stories that have come out to say, look, do you guys really, are you seriously interested in having Amazon come to your town, because there are also some other problems that may arise from Amazon putting that much investment and having that many employees
Having
come
that
in
much
all at
control,
once.
really, and influence.
A lot of control, a lot of traffic,
Yeah.
rents go up, gentrification. There are a lot of things to also consider. It's not all positive
Yeah,
stuff.
you visited their headquarters in Seattle, and what was it like there?
I mean, it was like Seattle is like a really nice place. Apparently the weather is bad, but when I was there, the weather was fantastic. And Amazon took over giant sections of it. Granted, Amazon doesn't put its logo outside of its building, so it blends in a little bit better. But at the same time, it took over a lot of the space, and people should be aware of that.
So next up, we wanted to talk about Samsung's Bixby. That's its digital assistant. Samsung announced Bixby 2.0, and the big thing is it's not just going to be on your phone. It'll actually be coming to fridges and other appliances next year, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and so if you want to talk to your fridge, that's
I mean, who doesn't?
yeah,
Right.
or
Hey, fridge, I'm lonely.
Or you could actually, Rye Christ was actually showing that you could ask the fridge to look inside the fridge if you have a certain Samsung.
Yeah, I
I'm
mean,
too lazy to look in. Just go look in
yes,
for
you
me.
need to have a Samsung fridge with a camera inside, and so it's a little bit. Yeah, it's not quite
It's
as
right.
useful.
Just open it.
No.
but
we
what if
don't wanna
you're
open
out? Well, what
fridges.
if you're in the market and you're like, do I have milk?
You know what? It would be useful if like you had like some really expired stuff in there.
No, it's. I think it's useful if you're at the market and you want to know what you have, so you
Oh.
can buy.
You can look at it from like far away.
Yeah,
okay,
yeah,
I thought
yeah.
I was thinking of the perspective of like being in the kitchen.
Oh no, it's true.
That was the one that he showed on Twitter. But either way, if you want to read more about these stories, check us out on CNET. I'm Ben Fox Rubin.
I'm Roger Cheng.
I'm Alfred.
Thanks for listening. There it is.
And I was like, "Ooh,
What?
where's the ending chime?"
I missed a step. Oh,
It's okay.
I missed a
We
step.
were only 16 seconds off.
You were
this time.
actually surprised we
Not bad.
finished on time.
I know.
I'm
for
never
once.
ready for you to finish on time.
I know.
That's what she said. Anyways,
God.
Oh no!
What?
I
All
knew
right,
that was
we're off
coming.
the rails.
Come on.
I knew you were going to say
come on.
Wait, who said that?
Forget it.
About us?
Yeah.
When did they say this?
Oh, what a childish show. Burps and sex jokes.
Yeah.
I'm sorry,
I
everybody.
disavow
I'm burnt
this
out.
show.
It's the end of
Disavow.
the end of the
It's
week
been a
for
long
us.
week.
It has been kind
I
of
mean, it's been a
long
long month or two or three.
It's been a long life.
So
Not for you.
So
It's been
either
a
way,
relatively short life, actually.
to retarget to Amazon.
Yeah.
I'm actually pretty surprised that this thing took off the way it did. Amazon
Oh, the
does,
attention that it got.
Yeah,
Oh,
Amazon
yeah.
does a couple of these experimental things. They did it with Prime Day a couple of years ago.
I mean,
and
the,
then they're
the
like,
drones. I mean, they just.
the drones doesn't actually exist yet, but with Prime Day, that ended up becoming its biggest sales day
Right.
of the year up until the holidays. And
I mean,
then
I
they
just
break
meant like
that
they
record.
seem to have a knack for like monopolizing the headlines with their like big splash announcements, whether or not they're legit, like the drone thing or with Prime Day. Like people can't stop talking about this stuff.
Right. And with this one too, this one is only going to make one city happy and
Right.
everybody else is going to be a loser. And there are dozens of cities that I'm sure
They
submitted
should have just done a
packages.
game show.
This is basically
Like
a game
American
show.
Idol.
And
Like The Bachelor.
Yeah.
The rose goes to Cincinnati.
But I think it's a good point to also mention, like people have asked like, well, what did Seattle get 20 years ago to land Amazon in the first place?
Well, I mean,
Well, Seattle's
Amazon
always
wasn't.
been like a
it wasn't
hub.
like a super massive company at that point,
Yeah.
But
right?
think about it. What did Seattle get?
What-
What
although-
did they offer?
yeah,
they
wh-
didn't offer anything.
Yeah, but
But
like
what does
Seattle's-
Seattle offer now to keep them? I'm wondering.
So Seattle isn't specifically a contender, but King County and a couple of the
Not
other
to keep.
counties
Sorry,
around them.
not for
are
HQ2,
contender.
but I'm just wondering if Seattle does offer breaks now for Amazon to like.
I
keep
don't
them
know
there.
off the top of my
Yeah.
head. I don't know, but I
yeah.
know that Amazon is definitely still growing in Seattle. However,
Yep.
Seattle is going through like this whole soul searching situation where they're like, did we do something to upset you, Amazon? Why are you moving to like this giant new campus? And there has been a lot of like concern about whether Seattle maybe wasn't business friendly enough for Amazon to want to.
I always
keep
thought Seattle
expanding
was like
there.
a nice like tech like city though, because Microsoft is out there
Microsoft's
too.
Although they're not really in Seattle, they're kind of like out in the burbs.
Yeah.
in Redmond.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What if they just opened up another HQ like in Seattle? Like that's
I'm sure Seattle would love that, but
we pick Seattle again.
I feel like it makes sense for Amazon to diversify locations, though.
Mainly, so the reason that a big reason a lot of folks were talking about why Amazon would need to do this in the first place was because they were outgrowing Seattle. Seattle is not Silicon Valley.
Yeah.
They definitely, there's a lot of poaching that goes on between Microsoft and Amazon, but
Yeah.
beside that, there's not as much going on there when you compare it to Silicon Valley, where you have like so many more tech companies
And a lot of
So-
talent, too.
Right. So to diversify to a different area where you are going to
Well,
get a different pool of tech
So can
talent.
you handicap it? Do you have a favorite? Do you have a most likely candidate?
My most likely candidate, and this is for a lot of other people's, is Boston.
Really?
Amazon already has offices in Boston for its Alexa, like its AI team,
Oh,
like
yeah,
the
yeah.
brains behind Alexa.
Yeah.
A lot of those folks are in Boston. They could also tap into all the smart people that come out of Cambridge with Harvard, MIT.
You know,
so
I would have guessed you would have chosen Philly.
I am from Philadelphia, so Philly is also
little
another
home pride.
Yeah, Philly is another area
It's
that also
and it's
has.
a city that could use that kind of business.
Yes, there are certainly blighted areas in Philadelphia
Yeah.
that have been blighted for decades,
Yep.
and could Amazon help?
Has
turn that
Philadelphia made a
around?
pitch for it?
I believe
Yeah,
so,
I
and
think so.
so I'm going to also run through. So Moody's last week came out with the top 10 contenders. I'm going to run through a handful of them. They put Austin number 1, then Atlanta, Philadelphia, Rochester, New York, Pittsburgh, PA, Pittsburgh, where I went to school. So
Represent Rochester.
Yeah,
And,
Rochester would be interesting.
and then behind Pittsburgh is the New York, Jersey City, White Plains, New York, that like whole greater New York area. So people aren't really, at least Moody's isn't strongly expecting Amazon to end up here.
Yeah.
Because like it's so expensive,
I could
and where would
see-
yeah,
they go?
they would
And
have
where
to
would
get
they build?
insane amount of tax
In New-
breaks.
well,
Like
I mean,
Hudson Yard,
probably
maybe.
upstate. Like I don't think not upstate, but above, not in New York City, right? Like it would
Right,
be,
like maybe White Plains, where
Yeah.
I used to live.
because they've got like IBMs up there, and
They've got the IBMs. Yeah, that's
know,
right.
there's-
IBMs in
But it's
Armonk.
not like there'd be some flashy new campus in the middle of the city.
no,
Absolutely not.
that would be.
Enjoy paying that
They'd
rent.
have to destroy so many like
Not
luxury condos. to
We're
make
taking
room for
over
that.
Central
Yeah,
Park.
I know.
De
Just all of
Blasio.
it. Just all of it.
That would, but considering
wait,
how
wait.
thirsty these different places have been, it wouldn't surprise me if Mayor De Blasio were like, "Yeah, just build over Central Park." Just
No,
go
wait.
ahead.
Let's take a page from Arrested Development, make it a floating campus in the sky or on the sea.
That would
the Amazon
really be
barge,
something.
just like the McBarge. That was such a huge success.
The what?
The big barge?
Remember when
that a
McDonald's had a boat?
sandwich?
No,
No, I don't remember that at
Everybody go to YouTube and look up the McBarge.
all.
Leave the
Af-
show.
No, after watching this,
No, this
stay
is-
with the show.
No, it's
Oh
far
my
more
god, our
important.
viewership's dropping
All
like
right.
crazy.
Do we,
Sounds very
do we have
vomiting.
questions, by the way?
Yeah, first of all, new fridge, who dis?
Fridge, who dis?
All
Is
right.
that the
I love
name
it.
or is
Yeah.
that the comment?
That's my contribution.
Oh,
We got a lot of people making really great bids in the chat about their local
Ooh, we
areas.
wanna hear
And
'em.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so Josh Boyda says, I feel like Chicago would make a lot of sense because it's basically the center of the country.
yeah,
That's a good
yeah.
point.
Logistically, that's for sure.
Totally fair.
I like Mother's Mustache. She says, Atlanta has the biggest international airport. Savannah has one of the biggest ports.
Yeah.
The tech industry is huge here in the metro Atlanta
It's true.
area.
AT&T's
It's
wireless
another great
business
point.
there.
Yeah.
Georgia Tech. I mean, there's actually a lot
CNN
of
is
talent.
based
Yeah,
there.
I could see Georgia being
For
a
sure.
big contender for them.
Yeah,
Right.
Atlanta's a huge hub.
I'm surprised they put Austin as
Austin-
geographically.
It's got
I don't
good
think it's got
talent,
that great.
though.
Like, yeah,
It does have talent, and Whole Foods is based there, and Amazon just bought Whole Foods, so there are
yeah.
reasons to go to Austin.
And
it
it's also a cool town.
yeah,
Yeah, that's
it's
why I would
definitely-
advocate
That's
for
why I would
Austin,
hang
but
out in
yeah.
Austin. Yeah.
not create a new headquarters for $5 billion.
Yeah, I mean, it's up to Jeff. It's wherever Jeff feels
Oh,
like
Ben's
hanging
buddy,
out.
your
Jeff.
good friend Jeff?
Yeah.
Hefe?
Ben's BFF.
First name basis now.
Nice.
Mr. Bezos, if you're nasty.
PB and Jeff,
That's me. That's what we call each other. PB and Jeff. When we're
Peanut
hanging
Ben
out.
and Jeff.
Right.
I would watch that show.
Oh yeah.
Slide 83 says Detroit, if we're talking blighted.
Yes,
That's true.
And Detroit has definitely been one of the areas that's been kicked around
Have they
as
made
a
a pitch?
potential. I think they made a pitch. I'm
Okay.
not sure off the top of my head. The problem is with a place like Detroit, you wonder if they have enough firepower to actually, make a really strong
They can,
pitch.
Yeah.
then they can start their own self-driving car delivery system from there.
Oh.
Yeah, the other
yeah.
problem too is like, does Amazon really want to get into the automotive industry too?
I feel like they definitely do.
Maybe.
I don't think for like consumer
for
purposes, but
shipping,
definitely for like shipping and
transportation.
delivery
Yeah.
stuff.
Well,
It's if you want to go in like the middle of the country, I think Chicago sounds like a bit of a stronger contender, but there are a lot of other places like Salt Lake City, Utah is on this list.
Really? Good skiing.
Vancouver it also made the list.
I was
from-
going to ask, is there
Excellent seafood there.
any question about them going across the border?
Yes,
So,
yes, there
'cause
is a potential. Like this
I
is
think-
for
Toronto.
all
I
of
think
North
Trudeau
Toronto.
just made a big pitch for Toronto. I think.
Yeah.
So,
Ahmed in the
Ottawa.
chat says Toronto.
yeah.
And somebody else even contributed Puerto Rico.
That would be.
Dude, that would be. I mean, that would
interesting.
be nice, but also logistically
Difficult.
super difficult. Yeah.
I don't think there's enough like tech talent specifically for them.
Well, think of
to,
just
like,
the infrastructure.
But their perspective is like, who
'Cause-
needs it right now? Like,
Yeah.
oh yeah,
Fuck,
yeah,
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 well.
absolutely.
Right. I think that, yeah, like for Newark, I think New Jersey.
But just
made a really
logistically,
strong pitch.
transportation-wise, that would just
know.
be
Yeah.
that would
I
be
know.
really tough.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think New York
Oh, yeah.
City's in pretty rough shape. They could probably use the boost, more jobs.
Yeah.
You know, just give out more tax breaks for giant companies. I think that's a pretty
That's
cool
what we do.
thing.
That's what we do.
Yee.
New York.
Let's go back into the chat. The Datch says, with so many places
Datch.
wanting HQ2, it seems like just a money-making scheme for Amazon. And honestly, it kind of
Absolutely.
feels that way too.
Right.
Yeah.
Amazon is really just trying
Well,
to
no-
drive a lot of competition here.
Well, the competition means like they can go to these cities and like, well, what can you offer us, right? What kind of tax breaks? What kind of? I mean, yeah, it's very plausible that they just basically don't pay taxes for like 15 years, right?
right.
I'm
Well,
surprised
speaking
they-
of taxes, there's no taxes in Texas.
I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah, you're right. For
Another
Great
reason
George
for-
Strait
individuals,
song.
though, not necessarily for businesses.
Oh, is that how it works?
Yeah, I think it's individuals.
I'm
to
I'm
Texas, I'm
curious to see because
Same with
Amazon
Florida.
got
Florida's the same way.
Amazon
Right.
got so
And
much
Washington.
attention with this though that I wonder what other company could also play this game, or is it like the Amazon
Yeah, I
lottery
was
is
wondering,
the last
like,
one?
I mean,
I've never
like
seen
Google could do that, right?
I've never seen companies before kind of like dangle this out in front of cities like
Yeah.
that. Usually it's like all kind of behind the scenes stuff,
Totally.
Right.
with like tax breaks and things
Like
like that.
Twitter was kind of like that with SF, right? They,
Yeah.
they had to kind of like, I mean, it came out, but like they sort of had this handshake deal with SF for tax breaks, and they didn't try to like, like you said, dangle across other cities. So, yeah, it's Amazon
Way to go, Amazon.
making a big splash.
Yep.
It's always.
We'll see. Hopefully they move here. It would just be easier for me to like visit their offices.
Hey
Yeah,
Jeff,
they love you.
You and Jeff, you're just hanging out all the time.
Going to lunch with
PB&J
Jeff.
Hi,
all
Jeff.
the time.
Hey,
You want to break some wine bottles on windmills later today?
Yeah.
So let's talk about turnaround time. Slide 83 says the thing is that there's going to be a long turnaround time on them really getting things up and going no matter where they build.
Oh, yeah,
Do you
sure.
think people will be willing to deal with the changes over upwards of a 15-year period? I think that's being a little extreme. I don't think 15 years is really. And
Well, I think
that
that-
is the
that's
time
their
span.
plan.
Oh,
That
is
is the
that?
time
Yeah.
But
span.
15 years
Wow.
is when it gets fully established. I mean, it'll go a lot faster than that. Like you'll see construction go up a lot faster. But it's
That's why
I
I'm
think
not
in its
the reporter.
final form.
No, it's totally fine. But
Yeah.
there,
This isn't even my final form.
Yeah.
for them,
I
for them
knew you were
to
gonna say that.
dangle $5 billion in investment and 50 million employees.
50,000.
Sorry, 50,000
That's-
50
employees.
million would be huge.
Everyone in America works here now.
It's getting there.
Yeah, it's getting there.
That's like the time span.
That happens
they're
during
talking
Christmas,
about.
actually.
Right.
We all
right.
just like turn in our badges, get our Amazon badge. All right.
Amazon hiring 50 billion employees.
We
Like,
all
sorry,
just-
everybody.
We're all just delivering our own packages to our home. We just walk to the. Actually, that's
mean,
kind of what you do, right? The post office.
Yep.
Yep.
Isn't that basically how Tim Hortons works in Canada? Everyone just has their own.
Timmy Hose.
I have
Am I
no
wrong?
idea.
I mean, everybody works at
There,
Tim
there are a
Hortons
lot.
and-
There are a lot of them.
I'd be pretty bummed out if it did end up going to Canada. Sorry to any Canadian listeners out there, but it would be nice if Amazon did, stay within the United States. But they are trying to build up as much competition.
You're so patriotic.
I do
Man.
love this country.
All right.
Let's blast through a couple more questions before we
So
call it a
awkward
day.
after that.
Thanks, Ben,
Well, HQ2,
for your patriotism.
I salute you, sir.
How am I supposed to respond to that? What am I supposed to make like a snide
No,
comment?
no. You're good. You responded exactly how you should have responded.
Are we
For
done?
America.
Yeah, let's go.
I hope so.
Okay.
America.
Matthew Datcher, will HQ2 actually have a real effect on local economy in contrast to bill of goods and sports stadiums and other effects that
Oh,
you
yeah.
may
Oh,
experience?
Absolutely.
Yes,
I mean,
very
just
much
jobs
so.
alone.
I think the point is that it would have such a significant impact on certain cities, like big cities,
Yeah.
that it could, gentrify areas and raise rents and raise
Right.
taxes
And-
and make
Yay.
things more
I
expensive
love
and
all
more
that.
traffic. you
Well,
know?
beyond that, like Amazon sets up shop, other businesses are going to come around it. It's not like it's just Amazon. It's not in a in a vacuum. It's other people are going to want to build businesses around that.
Exactly,
That's,
and-
that kind of secondary and tertiary effects are just as important.
As well as someone in the chat earlier, and I apologize because I missed the screen name, pointed out that just maintaining that facility in itself is an entire job force.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Great point.
So that's a huge one. And that's not just thinking like, oh, who's working the assembly line today? Like they're going to need groundskeepers. They're going to need maintenance. They're
Yep.
going to need engineers and electricians.
Right.
And
And they're going to need delicious sub shops to make delicious subs for all those 50 million workers.
They probably need people to write all those like press releases that they're going to be putting out.
I know.
So if you guys are coming to New York,
Oh jeez.
all right.
Yeah.
A couple more real quick. Rick says the cactus was from Tucson and it was 21 feet tall.
Way to
how do
go,
they even
Rick.
send
Thank
that?
you,
Well done, Rick.
Way
How'd
to
they
go,
send
Rick.
that in one piece?
They
That's like
sent
that's
it in
two
like a-
basketball hoops.
I think it was a tractor trailer or something. They sent
just
it. They
drove
sent it on a
across.
flatbed. That's I remember that.
Okay, yeah, that probably makes a lot more sense. Somewhere in my dumb mind, I was thinking,
They cut it up or something?
no, like a tractor.
Super high.
Like, oh yeah, you can put it down.
Yeah.
And just to point out too, Amazon decided not to keep the cactus because they were like, we're not allowed to take gifts. You know, we wanted to stay fair to everybody, so they gave
but they
away the
sent it back.
cactus to someone else. Yeah,
Just
Who
like
would take
just
the
a man on the
21-foot
street.
cactus?
it was like to some, I don't know, like conservancy or
Oh, got it.
arboretum or whatever. But
That makes sense.
yeah.
And so they just like they gave it to like the next guy in the street, like, hey, you want a big old
Just
cactus?
imagining Jeff Bezos holding a 21 feet tall like cactus. Like, what do I do with this?
Thank you.
A couple more. Dre Frey says, will Bixby be able to summon Google on your fridge or toaster?
Ooh.
I don't know.
I don't think so.
I don't know.
Samsung made toasters?
I'm sure they do.
I love
don't
that
know.
you can summon Google now like it's a genie.
Yeah, right.
You rub your phone. That should be a feature.
Najib also asks, where's the Amazon phone?
Oh, great question.
I've been speculating
it's
for a
not.
long time.
No, it's not.
I
No,
mean, like there
man.
used to be an Amazon
There
phone.
was the Fire phone.
And there is like a very soft rumor that came, I think, out of like press in India that talked about the ice phone that they were developing. But that was several months ago.
What is that, like
and-
the code name for it?
Yeah,
or-
that's the
okay.
code name is the ice phone, and I don't know if it would just be for developing markets or what have you, but it has not been a hot
I mean,
rumor.
that would make a lot of sense to me, right? Like a super, super cheap phone that's Amazon, like that's a direct outlet to Amazon shopping.
right.
I mean, that's kinda
emerging
what their
markets.
tablets
In
are.
India. Yeah, well, no, but like in emerging markets where those super cheap phones do really, really well.
But yeah, this
That
was
makes a lot of sense.
something that was mentioned again from I think it was an Indian publication and never mentioned again. So usually, like when these things tend to get hot, you get a lot of rumor stories, and that one was just kind of a one-off.
Yeah.
So don't expect an Amazon phone just yet.
All of this talk of like the smart devices just makes me think the world is going to turn into that movie, My Brave Little Toaster. Remember that? Where like all the appliances were like personified and could
Yes,
talk.
I remember the toaster. I don't remember his friends.
I don't remember.
There's
Did he
a
like? I just remember
there's
this
a
one
blanket
scene.
and a vacuum
Pee-wee's Playhouse.
and what else?
I remember this one scene where he
the air
jumps on like a
conditioner.
train or something. That's all I remember from that movie.
I don't remember the
I thought he was
train.
going with Idiocracy, frankly.
Oh,
and then
well.
kind of reminds me of that.
No, but like I remember from Brave Little Toaster that the air conditioner was played by Phil Hartman, rest in peace, and it was terrifying, utterly terrifying. Because he like
Wait, were they like
kamikazed.
enemies?
Was this like an animated
was like the
film?
It was like
Yeah,
a
it was
Disney
a-
thing, wasn't it?
I remember if it was. I think it was DreamWorks or something maybe, but all I know is like
don't
the
remember
air
this at all.
conditioner explodes and it traumatized me.
Man, this is a weird episode.
I know.
All right, one more question before we wrap it up. Tay K, hello from South Korea. It's my first time watching live.
Hey,
What's up, Tay?
What up, Tay?
Thanks for
Hey.
joining us. Bixby here in Korea is not too bad. I guess just like Siri, and I wonder how Bixby is doing in the U.S.
they say it's. I mean, they threw out a large number. I forget what it was yesterday at the developer conference, but there was no way to say whether or not people were actively using Bixby, so it's hard to say.
I do really like that Bixby is the only voice assistant that's bilingual.
No,
What?
that's not true.
That's
I
not
thought
true.
it doesn't it
That's
like
not
speak
true.
like understand Korean?
It does.
Well, yeah, but Google Assistant I think does a couple of different languages.
Right, and Alexa speaks
I thought
German.
Alexa didn't. Okay, oh, I'm sorry.
And Siri speaks a bunch of languages
Yeah.
too.
Oh man,
Yeah,
Sorry.
sorry,
I'm
bro.
completely wrong on that one.
No, it's okay, but it's good to mention.
Actually,
that,
I mean, Tay, if you have any, like, what do you use Bixby for? I'm actually really curious, like, what an active Bixby user, how an active Bixby user employs the assistant.
yeah,
Because to be frank, it's not as prevalent here in
Right.
the U.S. as they might try to sell you on. At
And
least
I don't have a
from a
note,
first-hand
I don't have an
experience.
S8, so I haven't had a chance to really play with it.
I
Like
mean, my general
when the
impression-
demos came out, when we got a chance to play with the phones, Bixby wasn't ready yet. So since it came out, like I haven't had a chance to play with Bixby.
I like this comment from Josh. He says, "Do they count accidentally pressing the button as using Bixby?"
they probably do.
Probably,
yeah, for
yeah.
sure.
Yeah. If you press that button, if you get anywhere close to the button, they count it.
Can they? And I forget. I don't remember if they actually gave you the option. I know initially they didn't give you the option to change it, but I wonder if they've updated it. So
To
'cause,
change the
like before, it was like
yeah.
it had to be the Bixby button, and even when Bixby was around, it was just sort of like a useless button. But I just feel like that's kind of a waste, especially if you don't use Bixby.
Well, yeah, it would be nice if they let you change it to like the Google Assistant button, but who knows?
Although
I mean, like,
you can hit the home button for Google Assistant though.
And that's all we got for the day.
Yay.
oh,
Wow.
Tay, if you get a chance to respond to us, tweet at us,
Yeah, do
email
it on
us.
Twitter.
We do want to hear what your perspective is and how you do use Bixby. And that goes for anybody who is engaging with Bixby. We're just kind of curious at
Yeah.
this point. Feel free to tweet at us at the 359 podcast at Twitter, and then email us at the359@cnet.com.
cool.
And that'll be it. Want to take us out, Ben?
Oh, I have to do it?
Yeah,
Fine.
come on, man.
All right. The
You're everybody's
359
favorite, Leonidas.
Thank you. The 359 is available on iTunes, TuneIn, Stitcher, SoundCloud, FeedBurner, Google Play Music.
And of course,
CNET.
.com.
Thanks for watching.
Hey, see y'all next week.
Bye.
everybody.
We'll try to do better.